What's up, Eliseo? How you doing? Have you kept up with the tuning of the year stuff in on the Zen Harmonic Discord? It's 10 p.m. Oh, nice. Ten on her. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. over here. Yeah, I think variable intends to. I did ask her about it, so she said she wants to. So we might be able to get y'all series to tie in. Like maybe y'all can get like more help if that's even something y'all are looking for. But at least it would like give y'all like a repository of like resources and might be helpful. Let's just done school. Yeah. We're doing it for a full year, so a lot of time. Yes, this is the album. Yeah, it's the 23 Ito album. Deja, who used to go by Iglesian. I guess she still kind of does. Deja Iglesian, I think. It's now her name. Version in your imagination was cooler. Sorry. But you should write that music, you know? The paper's fantastic. Well, you're a real theory head, Mr. Leaky. Don't tell Doman. There's actually this story about it was one of those Beatles songs, and it's on the White Album. And no, I know it's not that mathy. It's just like basic theory and some scale stuff. But there was this Rolling Stone interview, or it was literally like an interview of the Rolling Stones. It was one or the other, but it was some interview in some rock magazine or some rock band interview that Paul McCartney had read about this really like hard rock sound with like these crazy distorted guitars and, you know, basically like the early version of metal, like this really driving rock sound. And Paul McCartney said that he read about it and he got really excited, and then he listened to the song, yeah, Helter Skelter, yeah, and he was like he said what he imagined it was sounded way cooler than the actual song. It was about the Who. Okay, that makes sense. And so he was really disappointed with the song itself, so he made a version more like what he heard in his head. I thought that was so cool. But yeah, you should do that with this. This could be your Helter Skelter, Mr. Leahy. Track sounds like Professor Donut. The train tracks. Oh, you like the sound of this? Yeah, her other music, if you haven't heard Cryptic Ruse, that's definitely like prog metal. Same person does that. They said in the article that it was like a, what's that? Some krautrock or whatever they said it was. Whatever you call that. I don't even know what that is. I guess that's what this is. So maybe that wasn't the word, but it's something like that. cat paper was one of the first useful theory papers you've seen on a server. Someone posted 22 Ito functional harmony page. I haven't looked too much into that. I've read the stuff on the wiki. There's actually a pretty decent user page for 22 Ito on the wiki. I'll go and post that a little later if it's not already posted. But I kind of like this one user page, like even more than the main wiki page. But because it actually talks about the were the user pages linked already? There's a few of them. They're all linked on the main 22 Ito page. Well, there was one user page in particular. I can't remember who did it exactly, but I liked it a lot. It gave me a lot of ideas to try out. But the thing is with 22 is like there already is a lot of information on it, and there's even some like pretty serious papers by like Paul Ehrlich and stuff. So it's kind of daunting. Just I don't know how much I want to read. Like I definitely want to at least like skim it, you know what I mean? Just get the basic research done, like kind of figure out what's there. Just so I don't end up like redoing something that's already been done. But yeah, I wanna like just see what's out there and just do a bunch of research at first. I think there's a lot of research to do on 22. The nice thing about 23 is I'm sure there's information if you look for it and know where to look for it, but it's gonna be pretty slim. You dislike 22, all the thirds are bad in different ways. Coral stuff sounds cool. I mean, I really disagree. I think the down major thirds are really nice, and the super major thirds, I can understand that those might be a turnoff. I think they are for a lot of people, but I think in the context of larger chords, and honestly, you kind of just have to learn how to use the super major thirds, because I think you can get more acclimated to them. But it is a weird spot for it. But the thing is, the super major third, even though it's a harsh sound, it's a good 9/7. Like it's a pretty accurate 9/7. And yeah, so it's not like it's a bad third. You know, if you ask a JI person, they're gonna say no, it's not a bad third. If you just ask yourself, maybe yeah, it's a bad third. Maybe you don't like the sound of it. But I think super major thirds, especially the septimal ones, they're just harder to get used to. They're a really kind of abrasive sound. But I don't know. I've found myself liking them more and more in different contexts. Like at first, I really just avoided that interval, but kind of when you get into like 4-note chords and stuff, they sound a lot better. And I think like voice leading is always important. Like I remember when I thought like the minor 9 interval was always bad, you know. I remember when I like couldn't find a good use of a minor major chord. Like I don't know. A lot of times when I don't like something, it's just I haven't learned how to use it. I haven't like found the right context for it. So, but yeah, I think your opinion about the thirds it's definitely valid. I mean, it's just your opinion, but I think you're in the minority there. Like a lot of people like the the down major thirds, the just major thirds. Yeah, most people use nice tone in 22, so they get the good major third. And the other thing is that on the flip side of the 9/7, the sub minor third in Super Pyth is really good. It's not as good as like 27s, but it's really good. Like you can play sub minor in 22, and it sounds really good. Like I don't know if you've tried the sub minor mode of 22. Just play like the regular Super Pyth scale, but just play in a minor key instead of a major key. Like it pretty much like just works way better. It's a lot easier to use. The sub ones are fine as colors, but they're not very powerful. I don't know. I really like sub minor. I think it's a really cool sound, and I really like septimal. I really like septimal kind of harmony. Dude, I hate it when people are just talking. Okay, I have to skip that. I'm sorry. I can't like talk when like some random talking is happening. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the sub minor mode sounds really good, and then the classic minor mode sounds good too if you do the nice tone minor. So it's got like two good minor scales. It's got a good major scale, which is the super major. And then I think Super Pyth takes getting used to. I think that's the hardest thing. And I think that can be a big turnoff to people, for people to 22, is that they hear the Super Pyth and they're like, oh no dude, I can't do this. But I like it. Like the more I like, that's kind of how I felt at first, but like the more I use it, and I really like to use them together. Like I like to combine nice tone and Super Pyth and just do like this extended major. I think it's a really cool scale. The sound doesn't have a pull. It's more natural, more chordal. No, the sub minor is fine. Like you can just use sub minor. It's just a chord. Like the sub minor chord, you just treat it as a tonic chord. Like a minor chord doesn't have any pull either. I don't know what like there's no difference. You're confused? No, like there's 2/3 in 22. There's the circle of fifths third is a super major third. That's the really sharp one. It approximates 9/7, and again, it's like a pretty good. No, there's two major thirds and two minor thirds. There's super major, major, minor, and sub minor. So you get 4 different triads in 22. And the super major is the hardest one to use. The other ones are pretty easy to use. The down major or the normal major, it's like 386 or no, it's like 380 or something. I can't remember exactly, but it's like kind of it's like kind of flat of just, I want to say, but it's like way closer to 5/4 than 12's third. It's not close as like 31, but or I think 19's is closer too, but it's compared to 12, there's no contest. It's definitely closer. And I don't know, it's not just like, I'm not really that big on, I'm not that attached to to JI stuff in general. Like I like low complexity JI. Like I do like it, but like a tuning, you know, you have to like look at it as the whole tuning, because like you can find these advantages, but in every Edo there's gonna be like weird notes. It's just the nature of Edos. So, you know, it's like, do you like a sharp fifth? I kind of do. Like, I kind of like a sharp fifth. I definitely prefer it to a flat fifth. Like, if you're gonna mess with the fifth at all, I'd rather sharpen it than flatten it, just in general. And like, if I do flatten it, I like to flatten it. I kind of don't like the mean tone area as much as I like flat tone. I think it gets flat enough to become interesting around 26. But structurally, 22 is really interesting, because it's not as straightforward as mean tone, but it has like an alternative diatonic that's rank 3, which is nice tone. And that's part of what makes it like so interesting, is that if you have these like two main scales, and they like interweave and interlock, and you can use them interchangeably. And like when you switch between them, it's like it's really subtle, but not too subtle where you can't tell. And so yeah, it's just like, I don't know, that's the thing I'm like the most interested in 22 right now, is just like, it's like this expanded major. Also, there's just like there's so many chord possibilities, and if you play like all the basic 7th chords, like they all sound fine, like they all sound good. Like it's kind of overwhelming just to consider like exploring all the options. Just build the right chord on the right root. That's what you say. All right. Well, I mean, look, man, it doesn't really like you don't care about scales. I mean, I don't know what that means. Like they're just, do you mean you just don't use scales? It either sounds really normal, 2 out of tune. I kind of feel that way about 19. That's how I feel about 19. I don't really get that from 22. But I still like 19. Like 19 I didn't like at first, but it kind of grew on me when I messed with it more. Yeah, I don't really get that from 22 though. I don't think it like never sounds out of tune unless the chord is just bad. Like I think it all sounds like pretty in tune. That's what I like about it. It's like it's the largest, to me it's the largest tuning that you can kind of just mess with without having any idea of what you're playing, and like find good stuff to do. And I think a big reason for that is these two diatonics. Like if you consider the full diatonic, like if you consider super pipe and nice tone as being part of a larger interweaving structure, you have a bass scale that has 7 plus 4 has 11 notes that's in it. So like you have this 11 note hybrid structure that's it's like half the size of the total tuning that you can just mess with, and it doesn't sound like, if you took half the size of 12, you just have whole tone, which, you know, whole tone's okay, but it doesn't, I don't know, you're not gonna like this is a half of the tuning is contributing to diatonic. Because you have 2 flavors of 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th. And they all can work kind of together. And like you don't have to treat it always like that, but the fact that you can is really cool, because it's like in 12 Edo, if you want a more sophisticated structure, you basically go to minor, because minor has the interweaving scales. Minor has the melodic and natural minors, and in fact they're used in conjunction with like the diminished, the diminished based off the 5 and based off of the flat 2 or whatever, like so much that like you kind of have, I mean, you have to be selective about like how the harmony evolves, but by the same token, like if you just take it at face value, you have in minor keys in 12 Edo, you have most of the tuning available to you. Like basically you have pretty much every note except for like maybe the tritone, although 5 of 5 obviously gives you that, and then the major 3rd, and you can argue maybe not the flat 2, maybe not the tritone, just depends on how you're using it, if you get those or not. But yeah, you get like most of the tuning available in a minor key in 12. But in a major key, you do get 7/5 of 7/12 of the tuning, which is a good portion, but you're locked into those 7 notes. So in 22 you get this structure that is kind of similar to this like extended minor mode structure, but you get it in major as well. Yeah, but even if you just use chords, you have 4 flavors of 3rd, 4 flavors of 7th. And I think like Gleam, I think a lot of Sevish's music is pretty harmonically oriented. And honestly, when I write, I'm more harmonically oriented, but I still use scales. I use keys to like try to understand what I'm doing. I don't know, like 22 is like there's just a lot you can do with it. It has its own flavor too. It's like got this quality about it that's, I don't know, it's just different. It sounds sort of normal and sort of alien, and I feel like we've only really scratched the surface of that too. Like certain, in some instances you can even get some pretty like J.I. kind of sounds. It's not really great at that. There's not a ton of options, but like it's got a pretty convincing like what is it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 or whatever, or 7, 9, 11, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11 or whatever. Like it's got decent approximations up to the 11th harmonic. So obviously it's not great if you want neutral chords, but it does have neutral seconds and 7ths. So you don't even follow keys in 12. Your progressions are inspired by that J-pop keyboard fluctuation thing. Scales have always stifled that for you. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I just, you know, I've sat at a piano for like years and years of my life and just noodled on scales, noodled on chords, noodled and noodled. So I use these concepts just to get some kind of bearing on what I'm doing. I think for microtonal stuff, it allows you to establish a kind of home base. It gives you something to build off of. Like, even if, the thing is like microtonal music, as it is now, we have unless you want to like study like traditional, like makama, however you say that. Unless you want to study like traditional microtonal music, you're basically just figuring out what works for you. And, you know, who's to say what is going to be the thing you most like? Like, you're kind of, part of what I like about it is that there's so much, like, there's just so much to uncover and discover. And for me, it's really helpful to just have something to build off of. Like, I would rather, because I've spent a lot of time in my life just kind of trying to just deal with the whole thing all at once and just kind of just hit notes and, you know, trying to figure everything out all at once, maybe, or trying to figure everything out without having benchmarks, or trying to avoid like concepts or something, trying to keep it as abstract as possible. And I don't know, over time I just came to appreciate those times when I did, either by accident or because I was basically forced to by learning something in lessons or in school. Or I eventually came to appreciate these like benchmarks and these concepts, and just because, you know, from that you can expand, from that you can kind of build out. And I think with the most interesting music I've written on a, like, just from a craftsmanship perspective, from a kind of music theory nerd perspective, the most interesting stuff I've made has been because I had like some kind of just like mental models to build off of. And like probably the most like harmonically interesting and unique stuff that I've written. I don't know that I could have done it without having these more basic, ordinary structures to build off of. You're not advocating for an approach. Sticking to scales and microtones feels like you're missing all the interesting microtones. I think you can hear implied chord scales relatively easily as geniuses. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I've learned how to hear chord scale associations, but I definitely think some of them kind of are more straightforward and intuitive than others. But like, I don't know, it took me a long time before I could like associate a dominant chord with like a diminished scale. That kind of required some degree of exposure and practice, or to hear a dominant chord as being associated with like a melodic minor mode. Like, you know, a lot of like the jazzy stuff, it's, you know, for a lot of jazz musicians, it's kind of, it seems very straightforward and intuitive and cut and dry. But I think if you're not familiar with that world and you're not familiar with that sound, it's not so obvious. And I think with microtonal music, we have a lot of opportunities to kind of create these sound worlds and to create these, or if not create them, like discover what associations are possible. And like I think a lot of the duty of the artist exploring microtonal music now is just in like figuring out and just finding associations and finding some emotional relevance in these sounds, you know? Like it's there, and the potential for artistry is there, and obviously it's already been done. It's already been happening. But you know, that's where a lot of the exciting work is to be done. Like if you're a composer, that's where all the excitement is. It's like what does this sound mean? Like what chords are here, and like what do they mean? Like what is it? What feeling is associated with that sound? Like what feelings can you create using these sounds? And like what can you, like, I don't know, like I'm still like so basic with microtones. Like when I sit at the piano and I write music, it's not just about like, oh, this is a minor chord, oh, this is a so-and-so scale. It's really more about like, man, I fucking hate everything. I wish my ex wasn't such a, you know, I wish she appreciated me more. Like, or like, I don't know, I wish I told my friend this instead of being a pussy about it. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's just like a bunch of personal shit that's going on in my head, and I'm not necessarily thinking about the chords. You know, I spent a bunch of time already thinking about the chords, and now I'm just thinking about my life, or I'm thinking about life, or I'm remembering a dream, or, you know what I mean? And I'm playing music, and it's, oh, it's so annoying. I think we're still live. Sorry, my computer looks screwed up. Dude, my computer's been like janky lately. I'm kind of concerned about it. I haven't updated it yet. There's like a new big update, so maybe I just need to do that. They've like they changed the OS again. I've just been lazy about it. Hopefully that fixes it. But yeah, I was just saying, like, you know, when I'm writing like my songs and stuff, like, you know, I might think about the chords here and there when I'm like, you know, maybe I'm like thinking about the chords to like figure out like a transition or whatever. You know, a lot of times I'm just thinking about personal shit, and I'm just, you know, kind of writing a soundtrack to my life, to my diary, more or less. And you know, I want to get to that point with microtonal music. Like, I just want to expand my palette into the microtonal domain. And I think, you know, in order to start that, I think for me, it's going to be really helpful to have some kind of systematic analysis and kind of like some structured approach to like discovering what's available and all that. But you hear the functions and resolve chords even unintentionally. Sure. What do you mean? I'm not saying I'm writing music beyond theory. I'm saying at a certain point, like, the theory just, like, you know, dissolves into this more intuitive process that's less about, you know, less about, like, you know, theory and more just, you know, you're just evoking moods at a certain point, you know what I mean? Yeah, it just becomes intuitive, exactly. So and I'm not really that, like, rigorous in terms of, like I don't really, like, I'm not really that concerned about, like, voice leading correctly or going from one chord to, like, I don't do a lot of, like, resolve down a fifth kind of stuff. I definitely do that. But, like, I do a lot of just kind of, I think I write a lot more, like, modally, honestly. And I kind of like switch between modes, I think, more than I do, like, traditional kind of, like, voice leading type stuff. But, you know, I do look for, like, cool changes and smooth changes and stuff, because it tends to sound better. But yeah, I'm not usually, like, trying to make it correct in any academic sense or, like, historical sense or even like according to any conventions of style, because I have no style. I just, you know, I just whine while playing piano, and whatever comes out comes out. And then when I'm not whining about something, I'm usually just thinking about something, like, how could I write a cool melody? Like, I do these little exercises, like, all the time. Like, I don't even think of them like exercises. It's just, I'll sit down at the piano. I don't usually have any idea what I'm gonna do, but as soon as I sit down, I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna try to write a cool melody, or I think I'm gonna try to practice this chord progression because I never use it, but it's really popular. Or, you know, like, stuff like that. Or, like, I'm gonna try to do, like, a blues thing. I'm gonna try to get better at just a standard 4-bar blues. And I suck at all that stuff. I suck at, like, everything conventional. But I practice it just in the interest of getting better. And it ends up not, like, dominating what I ultimately write, but it ends up influencing it and informing it in a way. But yeah, what I usually end up actually writing and putting out is, you know, most of that is, like, kind of in the throes of intuition. Like, I probably sat down and tried to write something using a more theoretical framework 99 times, and then one day I sit down and I'm just like angry at my boss or something, and I write something for real. I think a lot of the stuff we do intuitively could still be analyzed functionally. Is where the real theory comes from anyway, non-contrived patterns from. Yeah, absolutely. It all can be analyzed functionally, for sure. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying that to write music microtonally, eight-step interval in 22. In 22, which interval is that? That's the fourth, right? Wait. the step pattern in 22? Is it 4 and 3? Can't even remember. I think it's 4 4 3 4 4 3. Yeah, the 8 step pattern. That interval is one of the hardest ones to get used to. So yeah, it's an abrasive third, but it has context where it's fine. Yeah, I do think it's cool. I think it's not the easiest interval to use, and I think it's kind of a defining interval of 22's sound, and I think learning to use it can be pretty gratifying. It's really not bad. It's actually like even a good like JI interval. Not that I really care that much about that usually, but it really is actually like one of the most accurate intervals in that tuning, if not the most accurate. See, it's like a 7/9. Writing your bass notes would more or less follow scale or key, but you're not doing that on purpose per se. Yeah, for sure, yeah. No, you can definitely like start from like kind of just the chords. That's usually how I write. Really, I'm usually thinking more chords when I'm writing. But I also usually know like what the key is. Or at least like the main key, because a lot of times I write stuff that kind of goes between, like it has like a jazzier progression, so like, you know, it'll switch keys in the same 4-chord progression, but I still know usually like what the main, or I have an idea, I have my own idea of what the main key is. And I usually know like more or less what notes work with those chords, because usually I have to like play around a little bit to figure out the exact voicing, and I'm usually coming up with melodies, either singing them or playing them on piano, and you know, I'm using my ear. I'm just like finding out what sounds right for that particular piece or song. But, dude, this is in 23. It sounds so normal. And, yeah, I usually kind of know what could work. That's not to say that I know everything that will work and everything that won't work. I usually have some idea of where I'm probably going to look for, like, additional notes and stuff. Like, I have an idea of the key, is all I'm saying. Key fluctuations, yeah. Like, walks up a fourth for a couple chords, doesn't truly modulate, but definitely sounds like Away From Home. Yeah, and I mean, sometimes just like knowing some chord scale theory can like help you write like a better bass line, or sometimes it'll help you to find maybe not the most obvious bass line, but like a compelling alternative. You know, sometimes it can be helpful if like you have an idea that's kind of maybe a little boring or a little conventional, and you wish it was a little spicier. You know, you can draw from your knowledge of like what scales work with chords, and you can try out different things and see if you can find something more interesting that still fits the idea, or maybe fits it better, or maybe just makes you feel better about it, like you're cooler and more of a interesting musician or whatever. You're late. Dude, we're how deep are we in this album? We're almost done. We got 2 more after this. What's up, dude? Yeah, we're talking about, well, Mr. Leaky's complaining about 22. Once again, so. But no, we're actually having like we're just talking about like how, well, I'm talking about how like how I want to learn like some of the basic structural theory of like microtonal music and like come up with a structural kind of like theory just to like be able to write microtonally on a more intuitive level. I'm trying to wrap your head around the 10 threads. Are you talking about just like navigating them, or I feel like scrap literally all of it except one uses in a wiki for 23. I think it's annoying to navigate, but you can I was kind of getting used to it, and I feel like everyone's gonna be annoyed by it at first, but this is a year-long project, and like there's gonna be a repository for all the music, and then there's gonna be a repository for all the resources. You can't tell when people are talking in different ones because they're on different ends of the spectrum. The monthly thing. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying it's perfect. I definitely think we should tweak everything, but I like that they, I like that Nick took it seriously and like tried to come up with some ideas and give it some level of organization. And it's possible he overdid it, but he also was justifying it, and Inthar seems to agree with it, because he was saying that they've tried similar things before, and that he was saying it like always fizzles out, and he's basically saying the impetus for doing it this way is to keep it, like the reason he like locked the threads and made them super organized and came up with this whole lesson plan basically is in an effort to preserve it for the length of the year, at least as far as I understand it. Like he's saying he thinks not exactly this, but similar things have happened before where they've done more long-term projects, and he believes they've all kind of lacked organization. And I'm just trusting his experience on that, or I'm willing to trust his experience on that for the time being anyway. I kind of see what he's saying to some extent, like with like as soon as the 22 thing started, there was just like a bunch of like trolley posts right away. And there's also the thing of like a lot of, when someone tries to get something going, a lot of people just like to complain about every little thing right away and go like, and they just try to make sure it's mapped out correctly, missing the bigger picture of like, well, not necessarily trolley, but like there was just like, there's just a bunch of like silly, silly trolley posts at first. It's just like, what I like about it is it's kind of just saying, hey, we're trying to do this for real. And, you know, this, you know, if you're interested in doing this for real, let's do it. You know what I mean? And if not, it's probably not, you know, it's probably not the thing for you. But, like, my opinion on this overall is just that it's, I mean, you know, it's not that serious, really. It's just a tuning of it's just a stupid microtonal tuning. But, you know, if we want to actually do this, like, you know, let's actually do it, you know? I mean, it's not that serious. If you think it's that serious, it's kind of like your own, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, why would you think it's that serious? It's really not. I mean, nobody's getting paid. There's no real repercussions for failing. Like, we're either gonna do it or not. But anyway, what I like is that they're doing it. They're doing something. And you know, I think as more people complain about what they dislike, and kind of also get ideas for what they want to do and what they want this to be, will refine it. And it, you know, it's probably not organized as well as it could be, but just the fact that there's an effort at organization, I appreciate. And yeah, I do wonder if it's a little too much, or just like not properly, like I don't know if they can like make a whole, like, because it's like in the forum area or whatever. I don't know if they can make like a separate channel for this that would be a little easier to navigate, like where it was like all under the same, because like some of the way I was doing is I kept going to the master. I think that's the way it was kind of intended. Is like I keep going to the master thread and using the links from the master thread, and I kind of wish it was possible to do that just on the sidebar, but it's definitely not possible to do that on the sidebar, at least not without like building some muscle memory. So I think maybe there's a easier way to, like a better way to scrap the master threads and pin a comment in each relevant channel on the master thread post. Yeah, but I don't know how to find all the channels. Are you saying would the pin have all the channels? Yeah, I don't really know how all that works. I could like experiment on my Discord and figure out how to do that, but I'm not really that familiar with Discord. I kind of don't like navigating Discord in general. I find it kind of annoying. You look at the pinned comment. Discord's miserable for this. Yeah, well, anyway. At least we're doing it, you know? Yeah, this is 23 of them. 23 of them. Like, we definitely won the whole game. Like, you know what I mean? We got 22 and 23. And got like support from the server. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad people are like on board to do it, you know. I think it's gonna be fun. Like I'm already kind of having fun. So hopefully interest will sustain, but if it doesn't, I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna do tuning of the year regardless of, even if I'm the last person standing. So I'm just gonna do it, and hopefully there'll still be interest. But yeah, I think it'll be good. Once it kind of gets going and we get a better sense of like how to do it properly. I think people will warm up to it. I think right now, like, we as the initiators just need to stay active and kind of just like show them, at least show them how we would like to do it. And then, you know, if people want to play along, they can, and if not, we'll still get something done. So I think a big part will be needing to make Zen wiki pages for proper organization. The flat 5 that isn't a tritone is good. Are you talking about 22? Yeah, it's got like a decent approximation to the 11th harmonic. I think it's like 10 cents off or something. But yeah, it's not bad. Like, you know, like 12 doesn't have anything in the ballpark, so yeah. Can I add you to 22? Yeah, sure. Hey, what's up, Romeo? How you doing, dude? I don't know how to add you. I gotta figure out how to do that. I'll ask. I'll ask Nick. See you, Romeo. Thanks for dropping in, dude. Let's see if I can't add you just by tagging you in there. I don't know if you're still here, Romeo's, but if that... Oh, wait. Let me delete that. That's not why I meant to post it. Okay. So I can't post the next one. The flat fifth makes the minor third sound decent. You talking about 23 now? What are you? Holy moly, dude. Alright, well that was interesting. Oh, is there another 23 Ito album, or are we out of music? It's from Savish. Using 680 in a triad makes the minor third not ass. $680. You're talking about 23? Yeah, you gotta be, because 22 doesn't have 680. That's 655. It's got like a 655. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, so, yeah, 22 has minor, sub-minor. You don't like that minor third? Oh, you're guessing. Okay. This is a cool album. I don't know if I've listened to the whole album. Oh, I did listen to your mix earlier. I thought it sounded awesome. To your mini mix or whatever. Congrats on that, dude. There were a couple parts I wanted to rewind just to like hear the sounds again. Biggest response you've gotten so far? Oh wow. Nah, dude, I was looking at your, oh, you're saying that's the most, oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. I saw you got a lot of plays and likes and stuff, yeah. That's cool. Is it on Bandcamp, too? No. SoundCloud. Everything eventually. So is that like part of the larger long-term project? Is that what that means? It's gonna take forever. That's pop a tune the normal way you write, just by feel, trying to be super intentional for research purposes. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like how do you write by feel without having some kind of limitations? You know what I mean? Like there's this kind of like happy space where you can kind of just mess around and start to do things more intuitively, but you kind of have to set those parameters first. I think that can be so helpful in microtonal music, because like dealing with 22 notes or 23 notes or 41 notes or whatever, like all at once is like, it's just a lot to contend with, you know? But if you narrow it down to like a 7-note scale or a 10-note scale or whatever, and if it's a structure that's kind of similar to one that you're familiar with, even if it's just barely reminiscent, that can be way easier than just trying to play the whole tuning. Most tunings are not conducive to being played all at once. I think 11-ito, but only if you're already experienced in 12 probably, but 11-ito, 5-ito, maybe 7-ito. I've had like a decent time jamming in 22 without really having a kind of reference scale, but it's kind of the only larger or like medium kind of sized Ito where I've had any luck just jamming. Start with a pattern, move chromatically around by feel. Yeah, I do a lot of that myself. Yeah, I'll start with like a scale, and then I'll narrow down from the scale to like the basic triads in the scale, or some kind of basic chords in the scale, and then I might modify like the thirds in the chords, or the middle note of the chords, or the fifth of the chords, or whatever. I'll just kind of move them around by a step or so. Maybe change a note of the scale here and there. I tend to mix in like a basic structural place that is like a home point, and then I branch out from there. So I might go really random at times, but I'll try to find some kind of pivot point where I can keep going back to it as soon as I kind of lose track of where I'm at. And I think that's really helpful. It's a really helpful approach when you're improvising, especially. And I think when it comes to raw composing, it can be helpful, but it's not really as important. But it definitely can be helpful. Normally lean on sound design. You normally lean on sound design about even with chords, but if you want to discover stuff to convey to the group, it'd be better to be intentional. If you have trouble just feeling through the chromatic tuning, you just mean for trying to categorize or find patterns. Yeah. You tend to start from a pattern and then chromatically move around by feel. Oh, I already said that. Like, if you want to explain anything about it to the server, you probably shouldn't make it sound design heavy. I think sound design stuff should still be mentioned. Like, Paleac was talking about how to use what was it, like FM or phase modulation. I think he's talking about the formula to find the harmonics if you're doing phase modulation. I think stuff like that is really helpful. So I mean, I want to learn about that stuff. I know I would appreciate any kind of whatever you call it, side points or whatever that aren't necessarily immediate. I mean, I think also Paleac had some good points in 23 talking about how timbre is important in tuning too. It's not just important in a weird tuning like 23. It's important in any tuning. And or quote unquote weird tuning. I don't really think 23 is that weird tuning, but I think I'm in the minority there. But to me it feels pretty straightforward, honestly. All I've really compared 23 to is other quote unquote weird tunings, like 21. I've compared to 21, 25, 16, 18, and to me in that whole group, 23 is the smoothest and most immediately palatable. Not only informed by tuning but other sounds, etc. You know how it relates to microtones, timbre is so context dependent. Well, there's this whole idea of Zen timbre and how different tunings sound better or worse because they better approximate the the harmonic spectra of different sounds. And there's all this research on tuning in other cultures where for instance, one idea is that the reason every village that does what's that stuff called, what's it called, gamelan. They say that every gamelan village and orchestra has a different tuning because the tunings match the inharmonic spectra of their respective instruments, and they basically tune to the instruments. So like the tuning and the timbre are directly related, you know. Like you don't want a strong third. So one thing in Deja's article I found interesting was she was saying that like the odd harmonics are well approximated in 23. Now Inthar was saying that like Deja has like a high tolerance for like JI accuracy, so basically like Deja will accept a lot more things as being in tune than maybe Inthar, for instance. But that made me wonder, like, do square waves and like triangle waves sound better in 23? Because yes, in that article I think she said it's like there's a whole bunch of odd harmonics. There's like 7, 9, 13, 11. The odd harmonics thing seems almost superstitious. Yeah, I don't know. Nick Vucci has it out for us 23 ins. We need to be careful. Why do you say that? Because he didn't incorporate it as an option and Telema. I don't know. I think it's fine. Like I don't mean to be like a negative about the 23 thing, but like I think if I went in and posted like tuning of the year and said we should do 23, I don't think the idea would have gotten traction. You know what I mean? Like basically Nick like made the move that made it happen. And you know, he seemed pretty compelled by my original post, so I think if I went in and like, dude, I mean, you know, again, not trying to be negative about it, but that's not really what I had in mind either. I wasn't trying to sell it. I was just telling what I thought would make sense for the server. So he's been unsubtly trying to kill them. No, dude, come on. I don't think so. Watch her step. The government doesn't have our best interests in mind. He was this morning. What are you talking? Well, how? What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure I read like all the posts. It's like all I did today after work. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. I just don't think he's. I just don't think that's what he has in mind. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, but Inthar was already doing all that. Like, Inthar made the polls and, like, made a thread. And, you know what I mean? So, you know, 23 has mod support. Thanks to Inthar. So it's fine. Not until you complain. Well, I mean, you guys have shown, like, that, you know, if you just advocate, you might get it, you know what I mean? He's our guardian angel against the treacherous Nikavuchi. Alright. Whatever. Dude, Nick is like basically made this happen, so Nick's made the whole thing happen. Like, it's not, dude, it's everything the 23 thing, everything in the 23 thing has just been doing what the 22 thing has done. Like, Nick did the thing, and then Inthar did another thing. And, that's the chain of events. So, like, the 23 tuning, even though Nick didn't directly support 23, he still basically made that happen too. So, it's like, you know what I mean? And he didn't argue against it. He just didn't want to make another separate thread and all that for it, which makes sense because he didn't make the original poll to include it, but he also didn't, like, you know what I mean? They didn't, like, he wasn't like, take down the poll, dude. He just, you know, I think this is like, maybe, I think this has been like best case scenario. I don't know I mean, you guys just like peeved that it's not just 23 as tuning of the year? Or are you peeved because you felt like you had to advocate too much and it's annoying? Or are you guys like mad at me because I didn't advocate and I just let you guys do it? Not people just feel like second-class citizens. The politics is crazy. Yeah, but a lot of people like the 23 thing more anyway. They didn't want to do 22, so, you know. I think Paliak kind of like knew. I think Paliak kind of had the sense of that more than I did. I don't know. I mean, I really just made the original post. I wasn't really that involved other than that. I kind of just wanted to see what was going to happen. I just, you know, I put out a big long fucking post and I just wanted the server to figure out if that's something they actually wanted to do. And that was how I treated it. And so there was a good split on people that wanted. I mean, I thought it was cool that like 23 had like a, like, you know, unambiguous lead, like a pretty massive lead on the Weird Edo list. And yeah, like 22 did not have a massive lead against 31, but I didn't expect it to either. Honestly, I thought 31 was gonna win. I was bummed out about it, but I thought that was gonna win. I didn't want it to win. But I'm glad it lost because I think if 31 won, I'd be more like just doing it to make tuning of the year happen. It would have. I think it would have felt more like a chore. Because I've literally been just like thinking about 22 like for months now. I'm kind of just thinking about like its representation on the internet and kind of thinking about 31 too and kind of the limitations of 31 that I think the areas where I think 22 succeeds over 31 and all that, and I, you know, and I really don't dislike 31. I do like 31 a lot. It's just, it's not that interesting to me on a visceral level. And I think it's just overhyped, that's all. I think there's good reasons it's overhyped. I think on paper, it pretty much looks perfect. But yeah, I think the limitations of its size are like, tend to go unacknowledged. And that's one area where 22 really beats it. But, you know, once I get a Lumitone, I'll definitely spend more time with 31. It's just like impractical right now. I mostly like to do stuff I can actually play on the instrument. And you can do some stuff in 31, but you're really limited to like 2 octaves, more or less. 2 or 3 octaves. Which, you know, depending on what you're doing, it can be just fine. But like, if you're mostly in the DAW, and you're just kind of using the little instrument as kind of a reference to like figure out some chords here or there, or, you know, test out different sounds or whatever, that's probably enough. But for like improvising and trying to come up with ideas and just physically play them in real time, smaller sizes, like, yeah, it's a limitation in the DAW as well, for sure. But you know, when you're like spreading the sonic palette across like multiple instruments and stuff, it becomes less and less of an issue. Because, you know, you can have one instrument covering 2 octaves, and then you can just tune your bass lower. Like when I've done 37 and stuff. Cool gang name for tuning of the year weird edition. Totiwa. You've been making the piano roll so big. Totiwa? Totiwa goes crazy. I kind of want to, I don't know if he would do it, but I kind of just want to ask Sevish if he would do an interview for tuning of the year and talk about 22. I mean, you could also ask him if he'd like to talk about 23 as well. But I might shoot him a message on Facebook or something. And just kind of explain what's going on. And I know he doesn't seem like he's very active on Discord, but he does pop in every once in a while. But yeah, I'd be down to like do an interview. Maybe we could do like a, I don't know, I could see what he'd want to do, but I've never done anything like that before, but But yeah, I was thinking of like reaching out to Savage and Brendan Burns. Because Brendan has done like a lot of stuff in 22. And Savage has done a lot in 22, but also like Gleams in 22. And I've been re-listening to the old Noun Zen podcasts. And like in the early episodes, he talks about how much he likes 22 a little bit. He says to like Elaine Walker, like, yeah, we're big 22 fans here. And it's kind of interesting, like 22 gets honorable mention like all the time. Like on those early interviews, like almost all the interviewers like bring up 22 at some point in like a positive regard. I think it's sort of like a best kept secret of Zen in a weird way. It's like 22 is not had like the I don't know, it's never really had the spotlight on it at least not in this modern era. Like Stephen Weigel says that 22 used to be like how 31 is now. But y'all are gonna see all tech, or maybe say that. Is that what we're listening to? See them if they come by. That's still Savage. IDM Goats. Dude, how long have I been trying to be this boss? I'll give it like 20 more minutes. I think 2 hours is like plenty of time wasted on one boss that I'm never gonna beat. Dude, where's that dude? Remember that guy, Mr. Lee? Where's that guy? He didn't make it today. He's probably asleep now. Yeah, Dante's Inferno. Or something Inferno. Probably scared him off with the crazy Itos. Dude. Like no real strategy for this guy. I felt like I got kind of close once or twice, but I probably didn't. Dude, that's terrible. Shit. Our Tetra is so sick. So you think about how Tetra in your brain explodes? Wow. They have a 10-hour-long album. Good for them, dude. It's a masterpiece. Why did you listen to it? I feel like it can't be a masterpiece if it's 10 hours. Like that kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it would be a masterpiece if it wasn't 10 hours. That's just too long, dude. I can't fucking listen to an album for 10 hours. I guess you don't have to listen to it in one sitting. You can think of it like a season of your favorite show. Like 2.5 hours. I did over 5 days. Yeah, I listened to well-tuned piano in like a couple chunks because it's like 4 hours long. It was spiritual.
I need top-notch service without the turbo-sized price tag. Switching to H&R Block is quick and simple. It's easy to use, and I still get all the help.
Yeah, I really want to listen to some Venny Facts. This is all in 10 Nito, 17, and 24. I don't know if y'all are fans of Mercury Tree and all that, but that guy Ben Speets has I have the album, dude. It won't let me listen to it. Is it on Google? I mean, what is it? I bought the album. Why won't it let me listen to my own music that I bought? You bet some Altaker is megatonal. Alright. Since we're oh, there's a whole 22 playlist, dude. By Savish. Talking more about that harmonics and crazy Eidos thing, but this isn't the best platform. But you don't buy it. Did you see that did you see that website that do we do that in 12? Well, thing is I think we kind of do it in general, but we prioritize lower harmonics. So most instruments, you know, most musical instruments have what are called harmonic spectra, which is, you know, when we're talking about a harmonic spectrum, that's what we're talking about, like the overtone series. Basically the loudest frequencies beyond the fundamental frequency are, you know, tend to be whole number ratios of the fundamental frequency. Now, do we line it up so that it's in 12 Edo? I don't know that we warp the harmonics spectra to line up with 12 Edo, but 12 Edo lines up with the third harmonic, and that's the harmonic that is, you know, arguably the loudest and the most, you know, but yeah, we do have inharmonic spectra in a lot of instruments. You know, violins have a lot of kind of, to the point where it's like basically like noise, I guess. And then, you know, bells literally just like don't align harmonically. Are they 100% harmonic? Maybe they're like a saw wave, you mean? Okay, I see. Okay. So strings are like saws. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. So,
people say that when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah, like bells and,
Thanks to the
you know, metallophones
and
and
Piedmont team, I had the opportunity
pianos
to see my family again. Every time
have
I was
various
rushed into
degrees
the
of
Piedmont
inharmonic.
hospital, suffering a cardiac arrest event.
In
My
a
family and I
city,
felt like the most
never say
important
that.
people there.
Yeah, clarinets are like squares or signs or whatever. Your voice and flutes are 100% harmonic. But yeah, even with all those instruments, like different harmonics are amplified. So like it's not always the same degree of amplification on every harmonic or whatever. I think there's, you know, I think the reason pianos are so inharmonic has to do with the like the way that it's a couple things. The biggest one is like you can't really get strings to be long enough to accurately reproduce all the harmonics, so you have to like double line strings and stuff, which is why upright pianos sound like way worse than like grand pianos. But there's also this thing about like how the hammer like subdivides the string. So, and I think you get a similar thing on a guitar. Like, anytime you like subdivide the string, you get like you get some weird, just like pushing on the string at some point, like makes it weird for some reason. Can't remember why. But dude, this one, I don't like this song. This song is hard for me to listen to. This is your favorite one? This one's in 22, dude. But half of it's fretless, so it's kind of not. Is that that Zen Zone guy or whatever his name is? Get fucked legally. Yeah, Microtonal Maverick. This guy has some cool music. This is not my favorite by him, but he does have some cool stuff. He's into this style of prog that I'm not really into. Like, I don't like the same style of prog, even in 12 Edo. So that probably has as much to do with it as the tuning or whatever. Oh, that sounds cool though. I've tried this, like, just dump a bunch of power bombs into him and then do supers after having done charge shots. Maybe that's the way to do it. You don't think tuning is enough context to say avoid this timbre? I mean, that whole arena of music is like very, I think, unexplored from a compositional perspective. Like there's a lot of ideas people have about it, but basically the main idea is that like you can use an inharmonic timbre to mask the dissonances of a weird tuning, or like the disconcordance of a weird tuning. And that's like the main thing. We generalize good usable timbres for different scales or types of composition that emphasize certain intervals, like in raga. Sine waves completely avoid the issue, right? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, since they don't have harmonics at all, I guess maybe. There's got to be a way you can get it, because I'm basically locking him on the right side of the screen now, so there's got to be a way to like do this and alternate supers and power bombs. I feel like I tried this last time and it never worked for some reason. Like if I don't just stay on the power bombs, I can't like lock them in the side of the screen. The other thing is like as soon as he comes for me, I get hit. Oh, shit. Using supercells in 15 to get away with really extended chords because they're super detuned already felt like cheating. I don't think it's cheating. I think it's fine, you know. But maybe it's not gonna give you the best insight into the tuning because you're not really hearing it. But I don't know. I don't know. It's like, are you not in 12 if you detune 12? You know what I mean? Like you still are. Because it's still like consistent. You know what I mean? It's just like thickening it, I guess. I feel like once I run out of power bombs, I'm just screwed. Because yeah, one more hit, I'm dead. Yeah, so what do I do? I'm just doomed. He's super angry. I hope I beat him because I'd like to actually play this stupid hack and beat it. But if I don't beat this boss, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, I'm fucked. Come on, dude. I have to be close. Yeah, I'm fucking dead, dude. Shit. So, you know, complaint just felt like the weird Edo cops would be pissed. Yeah. Arrest you, etc. Probably, dude. Seems very likely.
I took two things that I love, dancing and dogs, and I made them into a successful business. Hi, I'm
Damn
Robin.
it.
I'm the owner of Keta
Why do you
Dog,
avoid
and I
me?
teach people all over the world how to dance with their dogs.
Dude,
on
my
website.
start button is not working.
I was searching for a platform.
Dude, my fucking start button is not working, man. Dude, I can't hear anything. Oh. I'm gonna learn this one. On a little instrument. Fuck, man. God. Dude, man, this fight is so annoying. I never know what he's gonna do. Just when you think you like kind of understand it, he just does something totally different. Dude! Fuck! God damn, dude. Why, man? Why? Oh my god, dude. He's just being like, dude, he gets so aggressive, like, randomly, dude. So you can't do anything. Why is it that, like, sometimes he just, like, stays on one fucking side of the screen, like, for, like, 5 minutes, and then he's just, like, he just fucking goes wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you are. He just is on top of you. Constantly. Just always on top of you. So fucking annoying, dude. It's the microtonal Minecraft cover. Oh, yeah. Fuck. Come on, dude. Okay, jeez. so fucking long, dude. I'm fucked. Dead. Oh, I beat him. Oh shit. I fucking beat him. What the fuck? That took forever, dude. It took me like 4 hours and some change. Dude, I didn't even have to use supers. Like, dude, all I had to do was alternate charge shots and power bombs. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. That's literally what Dante's Inferno was telling me to do. So he had it right. He knew what's up. Like, I think I shot like a couple of supers in him in the very beginning, but that was it. Let me save state. Yeah, good call, yeah. Save state for sure. I am. Probably about to die. Although, like, the rest of the game is pretty easy, so I'd be surprised if I actually died. But, you know, it wouldn't be that crazy to just, like, throw out some bullshit every now and again. Here's the bullshit. Dude, that was the hardest boss I've ever fought. That was harder than that crazy fucking chorizo fight in whatchamacallit. Although now that I beat Ridley for real, like I kind of want to go back and beat Kraid without save states in this one. Although I'll probably save that for like a couple years from now. But if I ever play this hack again, I'll try to beat Kraid without save states. The song is cool. Oh,
Даже во сне преследовали эти иллюзии. Искусственная вода была как настоящая, и никак не хватало сил поверить, что на самом деле ее здесь не существует. Очнувшись ото сна, мне подумалось, что и здесь нет ничего реального.
Kind of confused. What did this get me?
Доски на полу лежали в обратной перспективе и блестели в темноте, после чего видел запись этого действия, отображающуюся в мониторах. Оказалось отражением лампочки.
So Ridley didn't unlock any items? All I really am looking for is Ice Beam. Oh yeah, that song was cool. Yeah, that was Benjamin. Did I miss an item somewhere? I feel like after that fight you should have like gotten something. Maybe I should go back and like double check. There's nothing there. I like this. I don't really like the talking part, but now that the music's here, this is pretty cool. Alright, whatever. I do need the ice beam for the metroids. I imagine. Although you can kill them with power bombs too, but I would like to find an ice beam if I can. I kind of thought ice beam would be behind Ridley.
The Zaxby's Chicken Philly is back. Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's.